he can say that I've been feeling a little concerned as there is lack of information from your side.
Okay, okay. Himanshi?
Yes, ma'am. The supervisor will have a feeling that his juniors are not responding to him. He will not have a feel of seniority.
Okay, okay. So somehow what is happening here? Uh, People are feeling disregarded. They are feeling clueless and ignored. They are not getting any kind of, any kind of supervision from them, from her. So this is why they are feeling clueless, ignored, and disregarded. Even sometimes we can say that lack of trust is also getting a better hand here, because uh, yes, who is going for impact? Anyone except these three? Yes, Bharat.
Ma'am, the supervisor will say, John, that due to this, your this behavior, your team will going to miss the deadline of the project.
Yes, that is correct. So loss in business, or you can say that deadlines are being missed. So in short, it is loss in business. This is the biggest impact they are facing, because Joanne is not cooperating. She is not supervising properly. Now they are going to face a lot of losses. Finally, what will be the request? Yes, Alia.
Um, he could say that could you please submit the reports for the projects on time so that your co-workers do not end up missing deadlines, and in case you do not have sufficient time, you may reach out for help.
Correct, correct. So yes, Amisha, do you have anything to add here?
Ma'am, I would just say that I would request her to be more regular in updating the supervisor and have a better regard for the co-workers by including them and engaging more meetings.
Okay, okay, that is correct. So in short, we can tell her that you are not being professional here. We can request her to be professional and manage her time well. So this is a very to the point. Gaja, you have raised your hand.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am,
Yeah,
I have a doubt, so I raise my hand.
yeah. So
Can I
please
ask?
go ahead.
Ma'am, what did he say for impact? Someone answered, right, ma'am?
Yeah, it is like, you can tell that person that your team members are feeling disregarded, and even I'm feeling clueless because I'm not getting any report on time.
Ma'am, can't the impact would be what is that?
You
Unpunctuality.
are asking about feelings, or you are asking about
Impact.
impact?
Impact.
Impact is lost in business. It's directly loss in business because people are missing their deadlines. They are unable to complete their projects. So they are losing the project. So it is loss in business.
Ma'am, but impact is what other individuals think about our weakness, no, ma'am. In the previous two case studies, I've observed that. In the
Okay,
first case,
this depends on the case study individually. All the case studies are different. Here we are talking about the impact, how it is impacting the situation or the atmosphere there. So the biggest impact is that people are losing their deadlines. They are missing their deadlines.
ma'am,
If
but
you want to include anything else, that can also go. Look, in case studies, it is never one line answer or any accurate answer. They can be wrong answers, but they can be, it's up to you how do you define it. This is why explanations are required whenever we go for case studies. What do you want to include? What is your suggestion?
I want to include unpunctuality.
Unpunctuality. So that is something we have already discussed. There is no problem in that. But how it is counted in impact?
Ma'am, I took the knowledge from previous two case studies and answered this.
No. I'm asking you to explain this. You are saying that
Okay,
impact is
understood.
un un yeah, you got it?
Yes, ma'am, understood. Ma'am, because he was not submitting the work and update within the due date time or given time, time is getting wasted. An individual should submit his or her assignments or work within a decent period of time, but is not doing that. So deadlines are going. I mean, time is going very close to the deadline.
So how it is
Not on
unprofessional?
time, so is not on time.
So unpunctuality,
Yes, ma'am.
according to you.
Yes.
I think this cannot be the impact, and punctuality cannot be the impact. Impact means something which has resulted, something which has shown the consequences. So because of her actions, this is what the consequence is here, that people are losing business, they are facing loss. Gojak?
Ma'am,
Yeah. Yeah, Misha.
ma'am, can we also say that one of the impacts may be that it is leading to different, this behavior of hers is leading to differences between the team members, and this can hamper the unity of the team?
Okay, Amisha, could you please repeat that? Actually, I'm facing network issues today. It's raining very heavily here.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, I was saying that can we say that one of the impacts can be that due to her behavior, it is actually creating differences between the team members, and it can hamper the unity of the team?
Yeah, we have not discussed that in the original case study. We have nowhere written this that there was any tussle between the co-workers. So I don't think we can include that.
Okay, ma'am. Because I thought that one person had filed a complaint, so that might create differences.
No. Actually, the person, who is again and again we have written you. This person is saying that earlier she had no problem with Johan, but now she has observed that people are missing the deadlines, and her co-workers have reported that she doesn't have time for team meetings. So this person can be a supervisor to Johan, and maybe because of that she is taking the feedback or giving the feedback.
Okay, ma'am. Understood.
Okay, so let's move to the next one. We'll do this a bit faster than how we did the last one, because one more thing I wanted to ask, do you people have time for one lecture tomorrow, 4 to 5? Can we have a lecture tomorrow? Do
Yes,
you
ma'am.
have? Okay, it's free time.
Yeah, we have already.
Ma'am, 5 to 6 would be better.
5 to 6. Okay, no problem. If you people are ready, no problem. 5 to 6. Okay. So
Okay, ma'am.
tomorrow we have a lecture from 5 to 6, so that by the next lecture in next week we can finish our syllabus. Okay. Okay, let's continue with this case study. So here what is happening? You have to imagine yourself in this situation. Your friend and roommate Josh Miller is a finance student at a business college. He likes numbers and feels comfortable with order, structure, and right or wrong answers. As part of the graduation requirements, all students must take classes in speech and writing. Josh becomes nervous about writing reports or giving speeches, and doesn't see the connection between the required class and his finance studies. One of Josh's biggest stumbling blocks is thinking of topics. He experiences writer's block and generally delays any project until the last possible minute. He is very helpful and kind-hearted and has helped on all occasions when you were in need. Therefore, in order to complete his project, he quietly copies your entire project and submits it to the teacher. You have the feedback to Josh using 4-step model. Okay, so last line is you have to give the feedback to the Josh using 4-step model. You can see two classmates are there, two roommates are there, they are friend to each other, but one of them is struggling a lot, and finally he decided to do something which was not acceptable to the other roommate. So how this action in question will be given a feedback, that is your job here. Okay, so let's start this one. First, we'll go to the behavior. So, what is this behavior, do you think, which is causing distress to the other person? Anyone? Please raise your hands. Okay, Alia, Himanshi. Okay, only 2 students are interested in this. Yes, Himanshi, what is this behavior?
Ma'am, the behavior of copying someone's work without even telling them.
Yes. So without taking permission, when Josh copied the project, that is the behavior which needs a feedback here. This is something. This action is something which is causing distress. Okay. Now second is feelings. So how are you feeling here? Because of Josh's copying it quietly without telling anything. You
Ma'am,
feel that yes, Gaja.
I'm embarrassed.
Not embarrassed. Someone is taking your thing and not telling you, so why will you feel embarrassed? Yes, Neha.
Ma'am, I think it must have made him feel disappointed because Josh went behind his back and copied his work. So he must have felt disappointed and a bit sad.
Yes, this is disappointing and at the same time betrayal. There is betrayal which you will feel because you feel hurt there. That person has not taken any permission. So you feel betrayed. You trusted that person and he copied it without your permission. So here you will feel betrayed or cheated or hurt or disappointed. Now we come to the impact. What is going to be the consequence of this? How they are going to be impacted by this? Okay, Bharat.
Ma'am, the impact can be that the invigilator might know that we have copied and we both will get punishment.
Yes, that is correct. Anyone has anything else to add? You can unmute yourself.
Ma'am,
Yes. Tell me.
their friendship will be affected.
Their relationship will be affected. That is correct. And anything else? If it is similar,
Ma'am,
please go
in
on.
the
Trust him again, his friend.
Okay,
Loss
yes,
of
loss of
trust.
trust is this. Yeah, loss of trust is there. So relationship will be ruined. Uh, so we can say that in impact, what will happen? First of all, their relationship is ruined, and second, both of them are going to be fined because the invigilator will think that they have copied or they have cheated. So in this way, they will be fined, both of them. Finally, request. What will be the request? Yes, Bharat.
He should manage time and complete his assignment on time.
And Amisha,
And he can be less helpful to others.
he can be less helpful.
Yes, ma'am.
Why less helpful? That is not an action which we are concerned about here. Someone is doing good work there.
No,
Neha.
but ma'am, he is very helpful, and that's why he is not getting his own time.
No. Here we are talking about giving feedback to one action, and we have checked that behavior. The behavior is with copying without permission, without taking any help. So we will we will make the request according to that action only. We have to focus on it. Okay, who is going to answer this one? There are so many hands. Divyanshu.
And we can tell him that he should try to complete the project himself, and even if he is not able to do that because it's not natural for him, then he can seek help from his friends, his teachers.
Yes,
He
I
should
think
not
all
simply
of
copy
you
it,
agree with me.
and because we can say like this that it will be helpful for him because it is going to uh, it's going to add something to his skill set.
Very good, Divyanshu. So here, all of you will agree with this that this person, if first of all, this is part of his syllabus, and so this is something which he needs to learn. So he should try to do his projects on his own, and at the same time, this seeking or this sneaking behind his back, this should not be done. So next time he should take help. He should take permission before taking any help from the other person. Copying is not an option, so you cannot tell him that please take my permission for copying. You should tell them that this is cheating. So first of all, they should always take permission before using others' stuff. And the second thing is, if they feel any problem, you are always there to provide help. Yes, Alia.
Ma'am, I just wanted to ask that this person won't acquire the necessary skills. Shouldn't this point be a part of impact?
Impact. Okay, this can be, but again, I'll remind you that we are giving this feedback for the behavior, and in the behavior we have problem with his not taking or in a way cheating on this project. So when he is cheating, this is morally wrong, something ethically or morally wrong. So we, because of that, we have included this impact. Although that is a valid point, we can include that. Yes, if he keeps on copying and if he keeps on missing any kind of learning from there, he would face problems in future.
All right, thank you, ma'am.
Okay, so with this we have finished the second one as well. So now move to the next unit. Okay, one more thing. What is happening in the another lecture which you people get on Monday?
Ma'am, the letters part is left, I think.
Okay, so remaining syllabus is done there.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Only letters. So letters or resume both are still,
Resume is complete. Resume
Okay.
is complete. Actually, ma'am, last 2 Mondays were holidays, so that's why letters
Yeah,
are.
all the teachers are struggling as well. I have a lab on that day, but I'm unable to get any session with those students. Okay, no problem. Maybe this time sir will finish it. Okay, so now we are starting the fifth unit. In my case, this is the last unit. This unit has two parts. One is interview skills, and another one is oral communication. First, we'll go with interview skills because this is very important, and I have an assignment to give you people, which is based on this unit. So this is why I was planning to finish it today. But let's see how much we can finish today. All of you have been in some kind of interviews in your life. Okay, it cannot be said job interview, but even if it is not job interview, it might be because for your admission, or there can be several kind of interviews. The thing is, when we talk about interview, there are always presence of two parties. These two parties, they are sitting in a face-to-face situation where they are communicating with each other. And when this kind of activity is done, there are certain things which needs to be kept in mind. There are certain rules which should be followed, because we know that when we say inter, it means it will involve at least two parties. So how this communication takes place, and what are the kinds of interviews which are present, or which exist, how people should take part in that we are going to learn in this unit. Okay, so what do we know about interviews? The first thing is it is always a formal meeting. Okay, so in this type of communication, the most important thing is this is always about a particular subject, and it is always a formal meeting. So here, these two parties, when we say two parties, the interviewer, that person can be a single one, or there can be a group of people, then it will become a panel or board. Or when we talk about the interviewee, the person who is getting interviewed, even they can be in team. Okay, there are certain kinds of interviews where people go in teams to sit through that interview. But generally interviewees are, they are one or two, not more than that. But we'll come to that as well when we discuss the kinds of interview. We'll come to that. Here, first thing first, that it is a formal meeting, it is something official, it is something which is pre-decided. Whenever you go for an interview, you get an information beforehand about the date, time and place, and you always know what is the subject which is going to be discussed. If we focus on job interviews, you people always know that when is your interview. If it is a pool interview or campus interview, the exercise takes place over a stress period of time. So there are schedules, and according to that you are informed. And if it is not for this purpose, it's just like you, if you want to get a passport these days, you will have to go for an interview there. So they are going to ask you several questions. Even there, you know what is going to be the subject. So the thing is, it is always formal. We always know when, where, and how we are going to reach there, and what are we going to talk about. It is not a surprise. It is about a particular subject, and we are well informed this. There is a prior information about this. Okay, so what happens here, that in this process, there are two parties, as I just told you. They are called interviewer and interviewee. If it is a job interview, we generally call them interviewer and applicants. Okay, there are certain interviews where you are giving information. In that case, it will become respondent. Okay, the person who is going to respond. So interviewee will be a respondent there. So in this way, the main thing is there are always two parties. One will be called interviewer, the other one will be called interviewee. And generally what happens for this exercise, for this activity, people prepare their questions beforehand. And these set of questions are called questionnaire or schedule. They are similar. Here a number of questions are prepared in well advance, and when the applicant or respondent or the interview is there, they ask them questions. Okay, when I say interview, can you give me any example here except job interview? What kind of interviews you people have seen? I'm not saying experience you have seen or heard about. So can you name some of them?
Ma'am, TV interviews.
TV interviews. Okay, in TV, what kind of interviews? TV is just a medium of
Interviews in
telecasting
news channels.
news channels. I'm asking about interview, Bharat, not the mediums.
Ma'am, BBC interview.
BBC interview. What happens there, Gajal?
Ma'am, mm, some personality would be coming, and the interviewer would be asking about the person, like
Oh,
his career, like political career.
yes. So
In
we have.
case if
Hmm,
she or he is a politician, like we
yes.
have Jayalalitha interview, BBC interview with Jayalalitha.
Mhm. That is a very famous one.
मैम आज की अदालत.
Yeah, that is also a kind of interview, but they generally call it chat show. Okay, so actually, what I'm trying to tell you here, I'm trying to give you an insight into the different types of interviews which we generally see, except job interviews. It's just like God just said, they are politicians. So these politicians, whenever they achieve something, or whenever their party is in power, when they join a particular position, they go for these interviews. In the same manner, when there is any new movie getting released, the people or the stars or celebrity from those projects, they go out and they give interviews. Okay, so that is also a kind of interview. There are several places where if you shop, after 1 or 2 days you get a call from there. They tell you that this is a kind of survey, and they will ask you certain questions and you are supposed to give the answers. They are also interviews. The thing is, they have a set of questions, and they will put the other party to sit through those questions and answer them. So this activity will be called our interview. Okay. So, what is, let's look into the definition of this. There are two definitions I have included, although they are very, very simple, but we need to look at them. It is simply a highly specialized form of communication, but one which affects how people are hired for jobs, how they are appraised and told about it, and how they are able to work with others on the job. So the first one is somehow focused on the job, or when you get the job, how do you conduct yourself inside that job. So when we come to this word appraised, there is one kind of interview which is called appraisal interview. So here no one is getting interviewed for one place or one designation. Here this person is already working, and how they perform throughout the year. When they are critically analyzed about that and they are given feedback, then it becomes our appraisal interview. We'll look into this. We'll look into the definition as well in the coming slides. But the thing is, here you will have to focus on this definition, that it is a simple and highly specialized. Again, the word is here, specialized means particular. We have that specified or particular subject, because of which we are having this communication. So with the help of this, people are hired, people are appraised, and certain times when they are inside the jobs, their actions, just like as we saw how Joanne was creating problems. So these kind of people are always there inside organizations. So time and again they are also interviewed. So these interviews help other people for these purposes, getting job, and getting appreciation and getting criticized as well. So this was written by Myers and Myers. We have the second one by James M. Black. An interview is a conversation, usually between two people, that is confined to a specific subject. The role of the interviewer is to seek information, that of the interviewee is to provide it. So we have the subject specified beforehand. There are two parties, two people. One is looking for the information and the other one is providing it. And this is how we conducted an interview. This was written by James M. Black. So this is, we have just discussed that everything is pre-decided. The person who will take the interview, the person who will give the interview, why they are meeting, when they are meeting, everything is discussed. So now we come to the types of interview. As I told you that there are several types of interviews which we have. So first one is called information giving interview. Have you ever heard about this kind of interview, information giving interview? Anyone? Okay, what is information collecting interview? No idea. Okay, so yes. Anyone? Yes. No.
I'm like, you just now give the example of the celebrities only. So from that only, that when a new movie is released, so they are interviewed about some information from the movie and all.
Okay. So here, if we look at the point from the point of view of the celebrity, he is giving the information, and the person who is taking the interview, he is collecting the information. This is the difference. But here, when we talk about both the parts, you can look at the second one as well: information collecting interview and information giving interview. So the thing is, role is fixed. Someone who is taking the interview is the interviewer, and someone who is giving the interview is the interviewee. So in the first style of interview,
Ma'am,
yes,
ma'am, can surveys be interviews? We get information from them.
surveys, okay, but they are information collecting interviews.
Yeah, one of the example I am giving.
Yes, that is
Okay.
correct. That is correct. They are called patterned interviews. Okay. They
Okay.
are information collecting interviews actually. Let me tell you first what is information giving interview, then it will be more clear to you. All of you remember that on your first day when you joined this institute, there was an orientation. Do you remember that?
Yes, ma'am.
What happened
Yes.
in that activity? What happened in that particular event? All of you were supposed to join the session. So what was happening there?
Ma'am, we were briefly informed about the subjects, the activities.
Ma'am, before that, director and hostel wardens, etc., were telling about some information about the college.
Yes, so this is what I am focusing on. Even there, those are the people who organize the interview. You could not directly went to them. You could not go to them or ask them the questions. They organize this particular meeting. They organize this particular event so that all of you can ask queries to them. Okay, so even here they were the organizers, they were the interviewers, and here instead of asking you questions, they were providing you the information. So whenever there are these kind of activities where the interviewers provide the information, just like inside an organization, new policies are being implemented, so now there will be a lot of queries from the other side. So rather than asking them to come to them individually, they organize it here. People who are in question or people who are in authority, who have implemented these things, they sit there and they get questioned by the other party. So when these kind of interviews are there, where the people who are interviewers, they give information to the other party, they are called information giving interviews. And in total reversal of this is when we make it information collecting interview. So you can see that most of the interviews are information collecting interviews, because interviewers have a number of questions with them. They are seeking information, so they are collecting information. Here the person who is the interviewee, he will sit there and he will give the information according to the question which is being asked to them. So generally when we have any kind of, it can be job interview, it can be a celebrity interview, it can be an appraisal interview. So here what is happening, interviewers are seeking for the information and the other party is providing it. So when you said that surveys are those kind of interviews, that is right. Here a person has called you and they are asking you certain questions so that they can feed their information. And this is not always oral. You These days, there are Google forms for everything. They send you the link, please fill this Google form and we will collect the information. So that is also a kind of that can be called a part of that interview, and that cannot be the whole of the interview because the other party is not present there, they analyze it later. But surveys are a kind of interview, they are information collecting interview.
Um,
Yes,
press conferences are information giving interview.
they are giving interview because people who are in that position where they think that they should give information about what happened there, they organize it.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. So next is our employment interview. We know this is the most popular one. Whenever you take the name of interview, the first thing which comes in our mind that someone is formally dressed up and they have a file folder in their hand and they are taking permission to enter a chamber. So that is the most popular one, employment interview. We know here that people who are freshly graduated or people who have finished their education, they go for these interviews. Although this is not the case, most of the times people who are experienced and they want to switch their jobs, even they go for these kind of interviews. Here what happens that a person is most of the time it happens, when you go for a job interview, even if you are a fresher or you are an experienced one, you send your resume beforehand. Okay, whenever there is this advertisement of vacancy, or walk-in interview or something, whatever it is, first we send our resumes and then we get shortlisted according to that. And when you get shortlisted, you have to you are informed when and where you will have to sit for the interview. So even after getting information about you, they generally started with introduction and all. Do you know that what is the general question, first question when you go for an interview? Any idea?
Intro.
Intro. So why do they ask for introduction? They have your resume in their hands. You people have sent it beforehand, and they have shortlisted you. Even then, they ask you to give your introduction. Why?
Ma'am, maybe to test the communication skills.
Or that is one thing. Throughout the interview, they are going to check that.
If you can speak or not.
Comfort us.
Harshita, I could not hear that.
To comfort us. I mean,
Yes, to put you in a comfortable position. There are two to three motives behind this. First of all, uh, whatever you have written in your resume, that can be copied, that can be written by someone else. So when they ask you the similar questions, when they tell you, okay, walk us through your resume, this is the most common one. The most common one is that walk us through your resume. So obviously you should know everything because this is created by you. This is something which is whatever achievements, whatever things you have written in there, they are your credentials, so you should know them by heart. So they are checking whether you are being truthful in that resume or not, if that is an authentic one or not. Okay, so that is the first thing. Second thing is to put you in a comfortable position, because when it comes to introduction, no one knows you better than you yourself. So they try to make it they try to start with an amicable situation, where everyone is comfortable in talking to each other. They do not know you better than you, so this cannot be a challenging question. This is the most easy question, and this is why they generally start with that. And here this happens, throughout your interview. They are checking that how truthful you are, how do you behave when you are pressurized, how much truth you have revealed in your resume, and how many things are not true. Because certain times you write, I'm a confident person, but the moment you enter the chamber, you start wiping your sweat from your forehead. So this doesn't show that you are a confident person. And this is why we keep telling you that do not copy your resume from anyone. Whenever it comes to creating or designing your resume, always include the truthful data. Do not copy it from anyone. All of you have learned it, how to write your resume. Make a template of it, okay, and paste it somewhere in your room, and make it a point that by fourth year all the columns are filled genuinely by you. That project should be done. Your strength, whatever strength you have included, whatever weakness, please try to remove them. Do not include more weaknesses there. The thing is that you have to create your resume. It's not like by the fourth year all these things will fall in place. There are certain sections where you will have to work very hard. Always take part in extracurricular activities so that you can write that there. Take part in projects or olympiads or whatever quizzes they when there is information in your CV, they will ask questions from the CV, and when they see a stereotypical CV there, they start asking questions from somewhere else, and then your interview becomes very difficult. Make it so heavy, make it so interesting that they do not have to walk out of that CV. For that, you will have to develop all those skills inside you. Okay, and this is why we tell that you should not copy it from anyone else. Okay, by the fourth year you start doing it. Okay, ask a senior or ask a classmate what he has written, and let's copy that. So when you all of you are going to sit in that campus interview where everyone is writing the similar thing, how you will stand out from the crowd, how you will tell them that you are better than others. So for that, please try to do this. So we were talking about employment interview. What happens here? Here the suitability of one candidate, that whether you are suitable for that job, that is being evaluated by the panel members. They check whatever credentials you have proposed, and how all these talent, all these aptitude which you have put it there, how do they match the need for that particular job, and with the help of their questions they try to assess whether you are suitable for that job or not. Next is appraisal interview. So as we were discussing that when you are working in a place, so there comes a time, generally it is annual, but it depends on the organization. Certain times these are half yearly as well. So what happens here, in these interviews, these are always internal organizational. Here no external person is involved. All the people who are working inside the organizations, they sit together. One employee who is in question there, or who is who has been selected for this appraisal, although it happens according to the departments, each and every individual is appraised. So here panel sits, they try to check how this particular employee has performed throughout the year. Has he met all the deadlines? How many leaves he availed? What kind of behavior is put forward by him? And does he have good relationship with others? And according to, on the basis of this performance, generally they are given promotions and increments. So here their performance is critically evaluated by the panel members, and this is why we call them appraisal interviews. Next is counseling interview. So what happens here in counseling interviews, we have discussed it earlier as well, that we need empathy. So here when there are certain employees, this is also internal organizational, here there are certain employees who are facing certain problems. It can be their personal problem, or it can be something related to the work. So here people who are senior, people who are experienced, they sit with these employees, they listen to their problem, and on the basis of their own experiences they provide solutions and guidance and counseling to these people who are struggling there. And with the help of these people they can get rid of their problems. So the interviews where the other party sits with them, patiently listens to them, they do not evaluate or judge them, rather they become empathetic, they try to put themselves in that situation, they visualize the problem, and on the basis of that they offer solutions. Then it becomes our counseling interview. You can in short you can call it counseling only, but because it is included in interviews we call them counseling interviews. Now next is our complaint or grievance interview. So what is complaint or grievance interview? Here, because of the behavior of one person, other people are facing trouble. So these kind of employees who are not ready to mend their ways, they are made to sit with the panel, and their behavior is critically analyzed there, and whatever problem is being created by them, that they are made to realize them and accept them. Okay, this is why we call them grievance interview or complaint interview. So next is our disciplinary interview. Okay, just a minute.
And
Just okay, just a minute. I think I have explained the topic wrong here. This is not complaint or grievance interview. Yes, who is this?
ma'am, we have a class now.
You have a class after this. Okay, then please
Yes.
join this meeting at least on time, so that I can complete my syllabus. We are already running behind.
Ma'am, I was on time, I think.
No, you were not on time. This class started around 4:10. No one was here when I joined at 4. Okay, let me
Maybe
finish.
we will be on
Okay,
time on the next one, ma'am.
yeah. Okay, let me finish this one, because then there will be a confusion. I have already messed this one. So let me finish this one. Complaint or grievance interview is when an employee feels that he is not being taken seriously. He was eligible for a promotion, but he was not given that, or any other kind of problems they are facing. So here the employees file a complaint, and to listen to their problem, an interview is arranged, and panel sits and listen to their problems. So this is why grievance is when someone has grudges or problems against the authorities, against the management. Then they make a complaint, and for the resolution of that problem, these interviews are conducted. So this is why we call them complaint or grievance interview. Okay, so remaining we will discuss tomorrow, as you people have a class, but please be on time tomorrow, because what is the point of having an extra class if we waste 10 minutes already? Okay, let me take the attendance. Okay, thank you, you may leave now.
Thank you, ma'am.